Hi guys, so today what we're doing is kind of a roundup of a bunch of first impressions that I've done over about the last 6 weeks-ish. So basically, I've done a lot of first impressions. I do a lot of all-day wear tests here, and I love first impressions. I think they are very valuable, but they don't give you the full scope after obviously you've used it for a while and you kind of develop your opinion further. So I've pretty much formed an opinion on all of them. I will link in the description bar below like every one of the videos that originally was shown in, just in case you missed any of them. So let's just get started. I'm wearing today the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette, and I am in love with this. I am so happy I bought this. I bought this off the recommendation of Kristen Game. I don't like the original chocolate bar palettes, and I know most people do, so I feel like a weirdo whenever I say that, but I heard that they did a really great job formulating this palette and they changed the formula of the eyeshadows. I don't know, that's what I had heard, and in any case I just love these. I find them to be so blendable, so easy to work with. It smells so good. That's another thing. I just find this so easy, and I've just wanted to reach for it over and over. Like, I have had to work with other eyeshadows this month for testing different things, and every time I have to do that, I'm sad because I don't get to use this. That's how much I've fallen in love with this. So I just adore this. I recommend this so highly. Like I said, I'm wearing it on my eyes today, and it was so easy to create a look. I love like the shimmery shades, all the light shimmery shades for all over the lid, and all the blending colors. Like, all the browns in here have so much different depth and dimension to give you such a gorgeous look in your crease. I highly, highly, highly recommend this. I know a lot of people are chocolate barred out because maybe you have the first and second one already, and maybe you got the peach one, I don't know, but I just totally recommend this if you don't own it already. So what is on my cheeks today for my highlight is the Urban Decay Afterglow Powder Highlighter in Sin. When I first hauled this, I was very hesitant because it swatches very chalky, but like, look at that swatch though. Look how intense it is. These are brand new to Urban Decay. They just released them for this current summer, and I'm telling you though, once you apply it, it just looks gorgeous. Suddenly I got a frog in my throat. It just looks gorgeous on your face. Like, it really gives you an intense highlight, almost like that wet look. So, depending how intense you want your highlight to be, this may or may not be for you, but if you are a girl who loves highlight, you will love this. I'm seriously considering getting another shade. So going along with highlights, I also bought this recently. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter brush. It's called the A23. Now, this is just for applying your highlight. It's a very nicely shaped brush for applying highlight. It is not the softest thing in the whole entire world, if that matters to you. It has shed a tiny bit, but it seems to have stopped. But honestly, for the price of this, I really don't think it's worth the price tag. Like, I have a Real Techniques brush that I use for highlighting, and it works just as well as this. I don't find that this does anything amazing to make it worth the price that it is, but it is a good highlighting brush. So I have nothing to say bad about it, just the price is a little up there for what it is. Okay, what is on my face today also is this Josie Maran Vibrancy foundation, and I did a full all-day wear test on this, and I've been using it a lot since then, and I have to say, you guys, I really, really, really like this foundation. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna buy a full size once this is used up, and I'm sure it will get used up because I really have been enjoying it. This is a very full coverage foundation. You can shear it out slightly with a beauty blender. It actually does not work well with a brush at all. A brush tends to leave streak marks in this. I don't know why, it just does. But if I use my brush first, then I'll just go over it with a beauty blender after, just to kind of blend it out, which is kind of how I've been using it, and I like to use it that way. But on oily skin, it's not terrible, and I have super oily skin, so it doesn't break down or anything, but it doesn't do anything to control your oil, so just be aware of that. But it does stay all day, and it does not wear off, and I just think it's really pretty. It has a real kind of illumination built into it, and that's why I think I really like it a lot. I think a lot of people will like that foundation. It is made with argan oil. So if you have dry skin as well, you would probably like it because it sits very comfortably like all day. Even though I have oily skin, usually kind of near the end of my day, I tend to get that feeling like I want to get my makeup off my face because it's kind of got that powderiness now, or that, not cakiness, but it's just too much. And with this foundation, by the end of the day, I'm always totally fine with it. Like, it's just so comfortable. I love this stuff, you guys. This is the Peter Thomas Roth 24 karat gold pure luxury lift and firm prism cream. Like, do we really need these long names? Like, can these companies stop with these super long names? Anyway, I love this. This is marketed as an all over, so you can use it all over your face, self-adjusting illuminator. So you can use it as primer under your makeup to give you like lit from within illumination, or you can use it just tapping it on wherever you want. Now, I've used it both ways. I don't really like it tapped on to like my cheeks. I don't know. I didn't find that it really did all that much because there's not really any pigment to this. It's just really like light reflecting, and that's why it works so well on your skin as a primer with foundation on top, as opposed to just putting it on top of your foundation, because you can't really see anything, you know, if that makes sense. Like, if you just tap it on top, there's no pigment there. So it doesn't really work for me in that way, but I love it as a primer. And even being oily skin, this works so well. I don't know what it is. It does say for all skin types, so there you go. Again, it doesn't control my oil or anything, but it doesn't make it worse. So it just really gives me that lit from within glow that I really, really love. Another product I'm in love with, and it is quite expensive, but I think it is worth every penny, is the Lingerie Depot BB Cream, SPF 30. I am going to be using this all summer long, I could tell you already. It just leaves the most beautiful finish. This is definitely a real medium coverage. Like, it has a surprising amount of coverage in it for a BB cream. I was really surprised, but yet it is super light on the skin. It does not feel cakey at all or heavy at all. It just kind of sinks in. Looked like my skin, but better, you know? This stuff is so great. I love it. I think a lot of people would love it, especially in the summertime. If you want a lighter coverage and you're gonna be out in the heat and you don't want your foundation melting off your face, I think a BB cream is where it's at, and it does have a pump as well, which is really great. What's on my lips is the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche, their new formulation of lipsticks. This is in the shade Sorbet. You know, it's just a really good formula of lipstick. I have no problems with it at all. I really like it. It's super comfortable. It lasts a decent amount of time, just like a decent lipstick amount of time, nothing crazy. It wears away evenly. It's a beautiful color. I am not, I've said it a lot of times, I'm not into the matte lipstick thing, like the super matte or non-transferring lipstick thing. That's not me. I need my lips like conditioned all the time. I cannot deal with dry lips at all. So I really just love lipsticks or lip glosses, and I like that this one is, it's not super glossy, but it's not super matte either. Like, you can see, it's kind of in between. So I really have been enjoying it. And two blushes here. This is what I'm wearing today, and I'm in love with this. First of all, these Clinique Cheek Pops, and this is in the shade 02 Peach Pop. These are such a good formula. They're just amazing. And you know, it's a pretty decent price for a high-end product as well. They're so pigmented. They have that beautiful sheen built into them that I'm addicted to, and it's just so pretty on the cheeks. Like, I like this because it is not overly pigmented. This Becca blush here in, what is the shade? Snapdragon. It's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous, but it's almost too pigmented for me. Like, it's just so much all at once. You have to be super careful. You have to tap off your brush and have very light hand, whereas with this one you can have a little bit more of a heavy hand and still not look crazy. So my preference is definitely this one, but if you like pigmented luminous blushes, you will love these. And I did say in the video where I tried these that they have, you know, they're the exact same color, and that is true. They are the exact same color. It's just that this Clinique one, like I said, does not go on as pigmented. So even in the video, though in real life they pretty much look the same, in the video you could kind of see one side was like way more intense than the other side. So, but they are the exact same color. So if you don't necessarily want to pay the high price tag for this one, this is a great alternative. So the Peach Pop by Clinique. Let's talk about Tarte a little bit. I've done quite a few first impressions with Tarte lately. And it's funny because I had never really tried them at all before that. So I got this little goodie here. It's actually called the Glam Goodies. And it has in it 3 products: the Lash Paint, which is their new mascara, the Tarte Tease eyeshadow palette, which is like the little mini version of the new Tartelette in Bloom, and then their new Tarte Lip Paint in TBT, which are their new matte lip products. Let's talk about this mascara first because I have been using it a lot. I have heard that the full size does not have the same issue with dispensing too much gloppiness on the end. This little sample size here, you get so much, like, look, watch. You have to wipe off that much every single time you pull this brush out, otherwise it's going to get all over your eyelashes. I've heard that the actual full-size tube does not have that problem, which is great to hear. I don't think this is the blackest black in the world. It's pretty okay. The problem with this, when I first used it, and I have used it a lot since then, the first week I used it, it really did an amazing job separating and lengthening. I did not find it was volumizing much at all, but really great separating and lengthening. But I've found after I've used it more and more, and maybe it's starting to dry out a little bit, although I've not had this all that long, I think maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, it's starting to get clumpy now. Like, it's really starting to clump up on my lashes. So that's kind of disappointing because, you know, you want a mascara to last you like a good solid 3 months before you get rid of it. And I don't know, I think it was really good for the first week, 2 weeks, and now I'm starting to get a little bit disappointed in it. These eyeshadows, I don't know, you guys. Okay, in theory, I should love this. It's got 4 mattes and 2 kind of shimmery shades in the middle. These 2 mattes are almost exactly the same color. There's so little difference in the pan, and once you apply them to the eye, there's no difference at all. These 2 colors here I think are really good. These 2 I am so disappointed in. Like, they just didn't do anything once applied. They didn't have any nice, beautiful metallic to them. They just kind of looked muddy. The last thing in here is the lip paint, and I am really impressed with this. This is not the kind of lip product that dries down completely. It is matte. It does dry down quite a bit to the point where if you were to kiss somebody, it will not transfer, but if you rub on your lips, it will. So that's the kind of formula it is. It's not like a ColourPop where it will dry down completely and not go anywhere, but it does dry down pretty well. So I don't know, I liked it. It was just a little drying. It was not drying to the point where you want to get it off your lips because you're going crazy, but it was a nice formula. It lasted a really long time. I was pretty impressed with it. I would be willing to try more colors in this. I actually really enjoyed it. So out of everything in this set, the lip was my favorite. The mascara was definitely okay, pretty good. And then the eyeshadow just was not for me. I tried a lot of the Rainforest of the Sea collection. The foundation that I tried was just a sample, so I didn't have more to try. And I did return the concealer because the concealer, to me, it just wasn't full coverage enough. But for me, who needs like really full coverage for under eye circles, I just returned it because it was like I wasn't gonna reach for it. But I also tried this in that video, and that was the So Fine liner. And this is like a very, very tiny little tip pen eyeliner, and it is very black, very pigmented, and it dries matte, which I love. All 3 of those things I love about this. Also, it just, every time you want product, you'll get product. This is not in any danger of drying out anytime soon. But on the other hand, because it is so pigmented and so black, if you have any tiny fine lines or bumps on your eyelid, it's gonna go to those. It's gonna be attracted to those. So it does kind of spread a little bit. You have to be super careful with this. What I have been liking to do recently is go in with like something like this, maybe like the Physicians Formula Eye Booster, which is a nice brush tip, but it's definitely not as pigmented. So I'll go in, kind of draw the outline of my wing with this and then fill it in with this. That's kind of how I've been liking to use this, but I really love how dark and matte this is. It's awesome. This little Rainforest of the Sea Marine Boosting Mist. This is like a makeup setting spray. I've used up about half of this so far. I think this is really, really good for setting your makeup. It just keeps it in place all day. I think it's just as good as like the Urban Decay All Nighter. I really have been enjoying this. Super recommend that as well. Two things I don't have any longer because they were just in my empties, which might not even be up yet, but you'll see them when it is. The Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara. Not my favorite, you guys. It transferred so easily. I did not find it did anything to my eyelashes more than any good drugstore brand has, you know? Like, to me, it was very much the same effect as like, maybe like a Tarte Lights Camera Lashes, where to me, that's just a very, very good everyday mascara. Although the Tarte one doesn't transfer on me and the Marc Jacobs did, so there you have it. But anyway, so I didn't even use that up. To me, I'm not gonna spend all my life trying to use up a mascara I don't love when I have so many that I do. So I used it probably a good 10 times, and by that time I was kind of done with it, sick of it. It's gone. The Lancome Hypnose Drama Mascara, on the other hand, I adore that mascara. It is so great. It gives you so much dramatic volume in your eyelashes. It's so black, it doesn't transfer, it's awesome. I've recommended that so many times and will continue to repurchase it once I make my way through my huge stash of mascara. Okay, this Urban Decay Naked Skin Corrector in Peach. I've been using this to correct my dark circles before I go in with concealer. I have been enjoying this immensely. It really does neutralize the dark in my circles, and then I can easily go on over top it with a regular concealer and blends out beautifully. I really have been loving this. And I don't really need a green one or a purple one. I have been thinking though I might want to try the pink one just for brightening, just maybe like, you know, as a highlight. I don't know. If any of you have tried the pink one, let me know, because I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on that. This, I have gone back and forth over whether I like this or not. This is the Benefit new Do the Hoola, the new liquid bronzer. This is obviously a very generous sample size, and it's got a little pump on it. It is a nice matte cream bronzer. Like, look at that. Look at how much you get from just, that wasn't even like a full pump. That was like a 2/3 of the way down pump. So there's a lot of pigment in it, but it does blend out really nicely. I think as dark as I am now, which, I mean, I have a pretty light medium complexion. Any darker than me, you probably won't see it on your skin. Because with me even, I was kind of having trouble seeing it. So if you're any darker than I am, it probably won't work for you. I did find it blended out really, really well, but it could get muddy on the cheeks. So the only place I really like to use it is kind of around the top of my forehead. Once I get into the cheeks, and if I want to like put blush there too, it just started to get muddy and I didn't enjoy it in that way. But I did think it was good on my forehead, so take that what you will. Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips. This is the Disco. This is another product that has like the longest name in the world. I think it's called the Disco Glam. In Bronze Nude. I really have liked this a lot. There's a lot of shades in here that are super glittery, but there's quite a few that are more on the metallic side, and they all have quite a bit of pigment. Maybe this very lightest shade is the only one that isn't all that pigmented, but all the rest of them are very pigmented. This blue in here is pretty intense. I've only worn it twice because, like, let's get real. How often am I gonna wear blue eyeshadow? But I have every once in a while, and look at that, like, it's beautiful, right? So it's an excellent palette for the price. The quality is great. I really have liked this. These Fit Me products, this is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation for normal to oily skin. I have been enjoying this a lot. I think it's a great foundation from the drugstore for oily skin girls. It is pretty matte. It doesn't transfer. It's definitely medium to full coverage, so you can get quite a bit of coverage out of it. I really hate the fact that it doesn't have a pump because I, without fail, pour out too much every time, and I think I waste a lot of product by doing that. So I know you can buy pumps to fit this kind of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to or not, but I like it. I think it's pretty good. I still feel like I need to, it's one of those products where even though I've worn it like a good 10 times, I still don't really know if I love it all that much, which sounds weird, doesn't it? It's just one of those things where it doesn't impress me one way or the other. This, on the other hand, I don't really like at all. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is in the shade 25. Now, first of all, I think this shade is too dark for me, which is one reason I don't like it. But also, every time I have worn this, I have just gotten like really cakey under eyes. And I can't deal with it anymore. I keep trying it with different powders and stuff like that just to see if it's me, is it the powder? Because I know a lot of people like this, but no, every time it just gets so cakey and gross, and it kind of oxidizes a little bit too, which under your eyes, I don't think you want your concealer oxidizing really. Okay, this is the MAC Emphasize Powder. This I bought because of Jaclyn Hill, and I don't know, I don't get it. Like, in theory it's supposed to brighten, but I just find that it does nothing. I don't know, I don't find that it brightens under my eyes or the high points in my face wherever I put it at all. I put it over top wherever I put my concealer, and it just doesn't do much. So I don't know what the big hype is about with her with that. She loves it, I don't get it. I feel like I paid a lot for that too, so I'm a little bit disappointed because it was quite expensive for what it was, but I'll continue to use it. It's an okay under eye setting powder. I don't think it's anything out of this world though. This Elizabeth Mott eyeshadow primer, it's called Thank Me Later. At first I didn't really like this, but the more I used it, the more I have developed an appreciation for it. It is very lotiony, almost like silicone-y, and in a primer, I don't know, I prefer usually kind of a stickier primer, like not sticky, but like a MAC Painterly or like an Urban Decay Primer Potion, that type of consistency, whereas this is definitely very smooth. And at first that's a little bit weird, and it does take a little bit more, like you do have to work it in a little bit more, otherwise it gets a little bit patchy. So I don't know, that at first weirded me out, but I will say it keeps your eyeshadow on all day, doesn't crease. Really think it's a good product. These Sephora blushes, I am so disappointed in, and I wish that I had realized it when I could still return them, because now it's been too long. But I don't like these at all. So I can't remember which one I used in the video as a first impression, but I have here Sweet on You and Can't Stop Smiling. And you know, I really wanted peach blush, so I got both of these. They're not very pigmented, and they do not last. They really do not last on your cheeks. For me, they are definitely gone by halfway through the day. And you know, Sephora house brand is not the most expensive thing in the world, but still, they're not cheap for blushes. And I would rather have gotten 2 more Clinique cheek pops. I mean, these are maybe only $1 or $2 more expensive than these, something like that anyway, not too much more. I would not recommend these at all. Very disappointed in those. These Hard Candy Velvet Mousse, what are they called? Matte Lip Colors. Okay, I had originally tried 4. The 2 light shades were awful. They're not pigmented, they're super patchy, they apply so weirdly, they look so bad on my lips anyway, and so I returned those 2, but I did keep these 2. This color here, what is it, Wisteria, I think? Yeah, Wisteria and Cherry Blossom. These 2 colors are beautiful, they're gorgeous, but the one thing I will say, they smell fantastic too. They smell so sweet, like cupcakes. What I will say though is I really hate the applicator on these. It does not make for easy application. It's like a completely straight thing. And what it does is it makes it so that you have to use the broad sides of it. But when you use the broad sides of it, you cannot get precise application on the outer edge of your lip. And so then you end up like, using the tip of it. But once you start using the tip of it, the product goes away so quickly that you have to continually dip it in. I hope all that makes sense. I just really, with products like this, prefer an applicator that has a pointed end but is like maybe a triangle shape or something like that. Something with a little bit more area to cover, but then has an end that is precise. So I just hate the applicator, but I really like the product. They wear super well. I was gonna wear that one today. The problem was it took me so long to apply it, and even then it was uneven. I just did not have the time to mess with it. So you really have to have the time to sit there and apply it evenly when you're gonna use one of those. Otherwise, it's not gonna look good. So this Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer, this I have mixed feelings about, but more unhappy than happy. So first of all, the color is a little bit too dark. It does oxidize a little bit when you wear it, on me anyway. The applicator is okay. I don't mind it. It's not the most hygienic thing in the whole world, but it's fine. The product itself looks beautiful for maybe like the first hour or two. If you have any oiliness to your skin at all, it will come off. It will transfer, it will come off. It will, like, if you touch it, you will see foundation on your fingers. Yesterday I walked to the mall, nothing crazy. It was not a hot day, and I just walked like a 20-minute walk. It was actually pretty cool out, actually, and I was wearing my sunglasses, and when I got to the mall, took off my sunglasses, all the parts, so here and here where my sunglasses were touching my face, there was foundation all over it, which was gross, and it was wearing off of here and here. So if you are oily at all, I would say it's kind of a miss. Very last thing, and let's end on a high note. This is the NARS Velvet Matte Skin Tint. This is actually an SPF product. I can't remember the SPF in it, but in Canada, long story, they have to pay extra money to say SPF on things, so a lot of companies don't do it, but it does have SPF in it. I think this is fantastic. It will be fantastic for the summertime. It can be sheared out, it can be built up. It has a beautiful consistency. It's like very velvety and moussey, and I really like the color as well. You know, I wore this just the other day. This is in the shade Alaska Light too, by the way. I wore this just the other day, and from morning to night, it just stayed on beautifully. On my super oily skin, it does not break down at all, and it kind of tends to still look matte, even though my oil is there. Like if I blot my face, the oil will come out, but yet I still kind of look matte, which is pretty incredible for a product, like a foundation type product. So I'm gonna be using this. So these two are probably gonna be my go-tos for the summer. I really, really like them. And so that's it, you guys. I know this was a lot of stuff. This video is probably a million years long, so if you're still here, then thank you for sticking around. And that's it for today. So thanks so much for spending time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.